All right, we have a gift for Coach Christian. Thank you for. We all appreciate all your time that you put into making us better people and players. This is my second year with you, and it's just getting better every day. And we just all appreciate what you do for us.
Thank you. And this is for Coach Keith. Coach Keith, he's the energy of our team. He gets us amped up for the games.
This is for Kalen, just a great manager, like went to every single practice. That's hard.
Oh gosh, and she also our manager. She's usually shotgun with me when we're in the van. She gives me the directions. So I
I gotta give for our best team managers.
Oh, this is for Sam G for being a manager.
Are you guys gonna sing or something?
Yeah, I think they're gonna sing.
You can sing tomorrow.
Thank goodness you're basketball speaking.
Journey, right? And it's not over yet. Like I told the gentleman at this table, tomorrow's gonna be a barn burner. All right, so make sure you guys are there. And I wanted to thank you all for coming to the games. I know you guys all got busy schedules, right? You guys are all taking care of making sure we get this tuition and stuff paid, right? So, but thanks for all your support, and the food has been excellent after games, and I gained a little bit of weight. My wife said, you know, you get chunky a little bit. So all to you guys, thank you. But you guys pray for us for tomorrow, because we want this all not for Coach and I, but we want these guys to feel this experience tomorrow. All right, so.
All right.
So yeah, get comfortable because I've been known to talk for a little bit. But I do want to. I wrote a few things down just so that I don't miss out on anything. First thing I've got to do is I got to thank everybody. All right, I have to thank everybody here because from day one, which was October 30th, 31st, our first day of tryouts, I know they're doing all the hard work, right? But everybody here that I'm facing, you've been part of that journey. You have to be, as a parent, or adult in these people's lives, you have to be invested in what they're doing, and you have been. So thank you for your time and your efforts, because they're great people, and big part of that is probably because you're great people. So thank you from Coach Keith and I for making this work. This isn't easy. Like, what we're doing is not easy, and I tell these guys every single day. It's not for everybody. And being a parent of a high school athlete is not easy. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Moving right along, let's see, the managers, as they've already said, Sam, Ava, Kaylin, and Santi. I know when we started out, my first year here as a JV coach, I couldn't get anybody to be a manager. And this year I had 7 want to be it. And 4, for the most part, kind of stuck around and did it in waves. I know Kaylin and Santi probably had the brunt of it with the road trips, being out at Doherty Valley in the rain, long road trips to Mitty like last week, Valley Christian. So thank you for being part of this process as well. You know, our practices wouldn't go well, our stats wouldn't go well if it's not for you. So thank you very much too. Also want to thank, since he's here, my son, who's always in my ear about this team. He cares about this team even, you know, even though he went through his JV year already last year, but, and I know he's excited about being there tomorrow and watching you guys kick Sarah's ass. He's been part of the process too with, you know, trying to get in my ear when I watch a video and he's like, why don't you do this with this kid, because this is what he does more at practice. So I value that. My second assistant coach I want to thank is Mr. Jeff Masuda. I can't say in words how grateful and thankful I am for all the film and all that. Just, I watch yours more than any other film that gets sent to me. All right, you know, I love the commentary at times, but it's just, you know, I just want to say thank you from our team, because I look at that almost every day, and I look at what you're, just to have that in my possession, just to look at my convenience. I'm very grateful for that. So thank you again for your time. I know it's not easy. I know you want to be there to support our team, of course support your son, but to do that, thank you very much for your time. Coach Keith, I want to thank you. As what Webb has mentioned, so the last couple years, I feel like with being Coach Mike, at times he was the bad cop and I was the good cop. But I feel like you're the cooler cop than I am. And I mean, Webb wasn't kidding, right? You give the energy, especially that talk you gave us before the mini game. I wanted to play. You gave us good energy, and then, you know, at times, you know, you give me good little things, and I appreciate you not talking my ear off when you're there by my side, but giving me a few things here and there, and making me look at the game in a different angle. So thank you very much, because again, it's not easy what we're doing, and you made this less easy for me just by being around, and your thoughtfulness, and you care about these players more than anything, and that's what I appreciate with you the most. So thank you. So I will talk about each, and we only have 12 players. Last year I had to do 17, so it's all right. So I'll go through it quickly, but I think it's important to know that I've gotten to know each and every one of you, right? I know there's times when you probably don't like me. That's okay, all right? And maybe I didn't like you at that moment either. But I want you to know, and I want you to know from here on, and I hope you feel this way, I will be your coach forever. It doesn't matter if I never coach you again on the basketball floor. Please know that I am always going to be on your side, and I always look at you as my players. Not former players, but my players. That's how I think about you guys. That's how I think about the team. And maybe in a year or two, I think Noah always says it, and my daughter, like, I've gone through, like, how many years of coaching in WCL, and I'll get, hey coach, what's up? And then I will look at this kid. It's not a kid anymore, but it's a former player of mine. And I hope that we have built that relationship that 10 years from now, 15 years from now, you always will think of me as a coach, because I always think of you guys as my players. All right? Going down the list here, from the person closest to me here, somebody, Matthew Brusso. So, first of all, with this group, by the way, one of the things I'm really, really proud of, and I keep telling them, let's be proud. I know we're always looking ahead. We're always looking at where we're going, where we want to go. But it's really important to know the process that it's taken to get to where we are today, standing here. And that process started last spring. I might not have said a word to them last year. And sometimes I probably come across, especially with the freshmen, like, hey, JV coach, and I just look across and do not acknowledge them. Because I will deal with them when I deal with them. But these guys have been part of really a long time with Coach Keith and I. Some started with me in the springtime with AU. But know that I was always keeping tabs of other kids that weren't on my team necessarily, but I knew what Webb was doing with Bay City. I knew what Mark was doing with another Bay City team. All right, I knew what Brusso was doing. I just kept tabs of their AAU coaches because things were starting to circle in my mind about how this team was going to be formed come fall, come winter. And then the one thing I wanted them to know is be proud. This group alone won. We had two separate teams in the summertime. They won 60 games. And then this winter we won 18 games. We won the Doherty Valley tournament. They have done a lot of winning, this group right here. And that should be celebrated. And I don't want them to forget that collectively they've won almost 80 games in the last 6-7 months. So never think that you're not appreciated, because the process is hard and you're always looking at where do you want to be? I want to be on varsity. I want to do this. But celebrate what you've done, because you guys have done a lot of winning and you've been successful. And I hope experiences like that take you to the next level. Whether or not, if it's not basketball, if it's something else,
Yeah.
all right, celebrate that, all right? What a group of young people can do when later on in life. All right, so Matthew Brusso, I loved his energy, right? Energy, always talking. And at first I was like, I'm gonna sit next to him more, and is he just talking just for the sake of talking, right? Or does he just want to be loud? But he's following the game correctly. He's saying the right things. He's encouraging the right guys. I know they all have their own egos and they want to play more. I get all that. This is part of the tough decisions I have to make, right? I know he probably wanted to play more, but he's been nothing but excellent as a team member. Just working hard, even just little things. At the St. Francis game, he doesn't get usually that second go around. I put him in and then never quite get to that second time. But the St. Francis game, he got that second time. I rewarded him because he had a good week of practice, I thought, and he gave us some good energy in a game that probably we were overconfident. And he gave us good minutes in that second game against St. Francis. So the work ethic's there, works hard. If you want to keep going, gotta keep working on your skill level and then just get a little quicker. All right, Matthew Brusso. Mark Phillips. I'm so proud of this young gentleman here. When I was trying to form this team in my mind, come fall and in the summertime, guys were like, well, if I have this, then I'm going to have too many players. And I'll be honest with you, right at the beginning in the summertime, I probably thought you were going to be on this side. But I'm so proud of you because you just kept showing up every day. You didn't miss an open gym. I saw that. You kept getting better. you played in the fall with Coach Johnny. I saw some of your games. You were making shots consistently. You earned yourself from where you were in the summertime, where I thought you were gonna be out. You put yourself, because of all the work ethic, you put yourself in. And I know you're kind of like Matthew, where you didn't get the minutes that you hoped for, but know that you should be proud of the steps you took to make this team. And that's gonna take you so much further in life that you keep getting challenged, right? Things may not go your way at times, but then you keep working. The basketball ability is there. I think it's more the confidence level, right? You just gotta get more confident. You gotta make the game slow down a little bit. And I mean, that goes for everybody, right? But I think for you, the sky's the limit with your ability. You just gotta be more confident. So Mark Phillips. Rayu Valdez, who I didn't think I heard his voice until November 1st. I'm just teasing it, Rayu. I love having him on the team because he's kind of like especially on the defensive end, his energy, his length, athleticism. That's what I saw with him from the beginning of the summer to the fall. And then as he kept playing with us, as he kept playing in our practice, then he started to develop a shot, especially from the corners, especially from the left corner. Like his ball handling ability got better. Those are things that the reason he made the team was because of defense, athleticism, and length. And then I think he became more of a complete basketball player as the 4 months went along. So you still got a lot of development to work on, but I think if you took that step after 4 months, who knows what will happen if you keep working in the game, right? So Rayu Valdez. Xander Grayson. So Xander I've known probably longer than anybody in this group because Xander played for me for like 1 weekend for AAU, and he was like I was coaching a 7th grade team, and he was a 6th grader, and he played up on my team for 1 weekend. And I already knew how he's got a lot of talent. And this year he was nominated by his peers as one of our captains. He's always talking. Sometimes he talks too much on practice. But I think this is kind of, unfortunately, when after the Doherty Valley tournament, we lost one of our top players, and I agree, now is supposed to be where he's at now. I challenged Xander. We had our mid-season meetings, and my challenge to him, Coach and I, were, what are you gonna do about this may free up more of the inside game? Are you gonna give me more rebounds? Are you gonna give this team a little bit more of a lift as far as layups, putbacks? And he's done that. It's slowly, but his stats have gotten better and better since the WCAL started. And we're gonna need him. We're gonna need him tomorrow. His inside presence, I thought, gave us an advantage against Sarah, and we're gonna need him tomorrow. He just needs to keep getting better. Skill work needs to keep getting better. Free throw shooting needs to get a little bit better. But that's, that comes with maturity and development. And I have no doubt that you'll work hard to get to that spot. So Xander Green. Andy Ennis. So Andy's been, he's been working his ass off. We had issues with him in the first week of forgetting what time practice was. But he corrected that. He corrected that right away. I love the work ethic. That's the first thing. He comes into practice, works his butt off. All right, works his butt off, and then his sister just gave you a bad look, by the way. But there's no doubt he's one of the hardest workers we've got. And that's why he is where he's at, all right? He's averaging 16, 17 minutes a game. He plays a lot. We trust him, right? Just the biggest thing about him during the season, and I would pull him out, put him back in, was just his composure. And tomorrow is a big part of, I know how excited you are about playing a lot of kids that you know, but it's all about using that aggression but then controlling it, because when you lose your composure, then that's when you start making plays that are not for the team, and that's why I had to take you out. And I think you, as the season progressed, when I did that, I think you started to understand more the purpose of why we were doing that. You're a hell of a player, but we want you to control your emotions a little bit better, right? And then you'll keep going and go far, but gotta control those emotions, all right? I have no doubt that you will, but again, I've enjoyed coaching you and look forward to keep coaching you down the road as well. All right, Andy. Tommy Walkowitz. So, I'm going to say this respectfully because, so 1993 or 1994, I was a freshman year, 93. I just finished my freshman year. We had the banquet for the freshman basketball at Carlin Commons. My head coach, Tom Stack at the time, during his talk about me, his first thought about me was, when his playing days are done, this guy's gonna be a coach one day. I kind of laughed it off. I didn't know what he was talking about at the time. I'm saying this because I don't know how far you're gonna get. You're still gonna keep playing here in this program. But what was the word I used for you? Do you still remember that word?
It was with a C.
Cerebral. And he thought I was putting him down when I called him a cerebral player. He had to text me that night. He goes, "Coach, what was that word you used to describe me again?" It's kind of, sometimes when I hear him talk on the side, it's a little bit of an eerie feeling, because that's how I was when I played here. And I told these guys every day, right? Like, his stats won't jump off the page, right? Like, a couple points. I think he had 8 the other day, but average is like 3 or 4. But his minutes are up there because he knows exactly what we're doing. And he talks the most of any player we have, but it's, for the most part, like positive talk, as far as, this is where we have to be. This is where you have to be. Not in a disrespectful way, but just getting guys in the right way, right directions, right? I think he's that guy on this team. And when I hear him talk, it's the way I talked 25 years ago. So whenever his playing years are done, he's gonna be a coach one day. So Tommy Walkowitz, again, just thinks the game before anything else. And because of that, he knows angles, he knows passing lanes, he knows how to make the extra pass accordingly. So those are the things that we look for. Oh yeah, the back doors too. Aaron Wendani. So everybody on this team loves him, and so do Coach and I. So Aaron started getting on our radar during the summertime because of one thing that he does well. Probably the top of the things that he does well was the one thing that we looked at and were like, this kid can shoot. And I know he's another guy that probably, probably disappointed with the amount of minutes that he's gotten so far. But he's been there every single day of practice when he's there working hard. I know that the quickness probably will get there, because I think because of your shooting ability, I just saw the film again from Sarah. You had that when it was open, but you were kind of like, oh, the guy's, right? Like, so that's the next level, is the quickness, because you can get to the spots. You're another one like Tommy as far as being a cerebral player, knowing angles, knowing the next pass, knowing the next step. I think the quickness and the strength will get there as your body matures, right? You just keep working, and then you'll always find yourself on a team because you know the little things about the game. So, Aaron Windon.
Yeah.
Simon Morbach.
Oh, yeah.
Another person that, there are 3 or 4 of them that I kind of talked to once now left our team and challenged him. He was one of them that I expected, all right, we're gonna need a little bit more from you. Simon and I have kind of had a little tug of war as far as me coaching him and him allowing me to coach him, right? He's a hell of a player, don't get me wrong. Like, the skill level is there, getting to the rim. Maybe let's work on the dunking after JV here. You and Andy together, you guys can work on that. But I think he's taken a leap as far as, I think this Simon, understands how to play defense. Whereas 3-4 months ago, I think he was still playing individual defense and not team defense. And that's the way I'm viewing him, because I know he does a lot of great things on the offensive end. I knew he could pass the ball in the first game we had in Sacramento when we killed a team by like 50, 60 points. Because I think he had like 10 assists in that game, right? But it's the defensive end that I'm really, really proud of him, because he's taken leaps as far as just knowing, understanding team concepts now, as far as being a team defender. I think, with that maturity, willingness to listen to your coaches as you've been doing, I think you're just gonna keep going, getting better and better and better. And let's work on the free throw shooting. He's gotten to the free throw line 100 times this year, which is an awesome number. Just got to make a little bit more. All right, so Simon Orba. All right, I got 4 more. Jacob Santos. So Jacob was one of the few players, I think there were 3 of you that played on our AU team in the springtime. I asked him to do a lot during the springtime. I asked him to be a point guard at times, be the top scorer at times, and I thought, I was amazed that, like, this kid's a good player. Like, he knows how to play. He works hard. He has a great shot. Fast forward to the summertime, when now he's playing with these guys, and this team is better than our AAU team. And I think he found, especially with the team we had in the summertime, where I didn't start him because I wanted to see what he would do as a 6th man, somebody that can give us quick offense, and basically I gave the green light to. Like, shoot when you're open, anytime. I don't even want you dribbling, just shoot it. And he really took to that role and was comfortable with that role. And we just kept going to him, and then he cemented his role on our team in the summertime. Sometimes he'll get 15 to 20 minutes. Sometimes he'll get 10 to 12 minutes. But you really appreciated that role, and he played it well. And it was the offense and then the ball pressure. When we pressed against St. Francis, he was the one that was giving us good ball pressure, and that turned that game around. And then, no matter what happens to this day, Jacob, right? No matter how the next steps forward of your athletic career, nobody can take what you did at USF when you hit 4 or 5 threes. Nobody, like, right? You and Andy bailed us out in that game, all right? Both of you guys. But you guys, that experience alone, being in a college gym against your rival, all right? Just an experience like that. Celebrate that. So Jacob Santos. One more. Jordan El-Salou.
Jordan.
So, probably the kid that unfortunately I yelled at the most. But it was because of the potential Coach and I see in him. And it was always to motivate, to challenge. Like, I would stop drills a little bit sometimes to not talk to him, probably yell at him, and correct what he was doing wrong. But then, as hard as I was coaching him, 2 days later I'd see an improvement, so he was listening. And I always took the time to acknowledge that's what we're talking about. So I had that experience with Jordan about 10 times in the last month or so. It was always, all right, you're doing the things incorrectly. Now, 2 days later, you're doing it correctly now. And it was always trying to motivate him. I know his minutes go up and down, right? Sometimes when he's rolling, you can put him in there a little longer. Sometimes he hasn't been. But I think many of you, or a few of you, said maybe the best game he played was the other night against Mid. Running straight line from rim to rim instead of doing these cuts where I'm like, what are you doing? Why don't you just go straight to the rim? And I think he did that, especially in the fourth quarter. We needed those layups from him. We need him, as I yelled at him and maybe added a choice word or two, we need him to be 6'4" instead of 5'8" sometimes when he puts that ball down. So that's the biggest thing I think he needs to improve on is just his strength. I think he doesn't realize how strong he is. I think there's still tendencies that, I want to be a point guard, but he's not. We want him to be a center. We want him to be a big guy down low with his size. So that's where I always kind of think we want you to be your size instead of coming back down to the guards. A lot of potential here, and who knows, maybe he'll be 6'6" by the time the summer starts. So Jordan El-Salou. So the next two I'm going to kind of put together. I want to talk about them individually, but because they've been lucky enough that they, I'm sure when the season started, playing for me another year might not have been the best thing for them. Like they probably, like, I tell these players every single year, right? Your goal when you go through SI basketball shouldn't be to play for me. It should be to play for our top team. So I'm sure they were disappointed that they were with me for another year. But I think what our plan with the two of them really, really worked because of, one, they were open to being a leader, a junior leader on this team. It wasn't, we're juniors, we're better than you. None of that. They never did that. They opened their arms to these guys. They opened their arms to these players, and in a way, silently kind of were leaders of the team. I know that both of them didn't get much playing time last year. I mean, with many players in that roster, but we had a 23-1 team, so like, I don't think I could have done anything differently. I think we were successful, and it was their time this season, and it wasn't their time last season. And Webb Wynn, just last year was playing through contact was one of the things I think I talked about that he needed to get better at. His shooting needed to get better. Footwork needed to get better. Those three things maybe I'm trying to remember. He's playing through contact. Like, he doesn't get every call. And I wish he could. I wish he would get every call, because lately he makes every free throw. I know that there were times he and I talked about this. He struggled. He's been struggling a little bit with that shot. He's taking good shots, they're just not going in. But that's what opened us to him during the summertime. He was making a lot of shots. And I started seeing the combination of him and Xander together, him and Now together, just an inside-outside. And he has done that. He did put the work in the spring and the summertime. And then I know he wants better results, but he's taking good shots. And the footwork is getting better too. All right, he's not being able, not a lot of people are blowing by him now, trying to stay in the front, trying to cut off people. And he's just competitive as hell. So that's Webb Wynn for you.
Oh, good job.
Last player, last but not least, I've coached him of this group the longest, because coached him twice now for SIJV, and I've coached him a couple times for AAU. The last one being this fall. I was really excited that Lucas was on our team this year, because I think he had a lot to prove. I know he wasn't, probably Webb and him weren't happy again that they weren't playing last year, and I think Lucas, I kind of gave the ball to from day one. You're going to be our point guard, right? But you share those duties, and now we're trying to get Simon to bring it up, Tommy to bring it up. But I trust him with the ball in his hands, right? Every time he shoots, I just think it's going to go in. Every single time he shoots. And I don't even care if it's off balance, or I just think it's going to go in. And, at Sarah, every shot went in until they tried to play football and tackle him, because that was the only thing that they could do to stop him. And against Sacred Heart as well, at that gym, where it's tough to shoot. He hit 4 or 5 big threes, or how many did you hit that day? 6? 6 threes that game. So he has been a leader from day one on this team, because he's had the ball in his hands. All these guys, love these two guys, right? Lucas always has a smile on his face when he's playing. He just enjoys the game. Like, I think, sometimes Coach and I tell him, can you rest? Can you stop dribbling the basketball? Just go do your homework or something. But he just loves to play. During the AAU, he just loves to play, and just give him the ball and then let him shoot. But the one thing which I am really proud of, because I think probably have I've been responsible for this a little bit, is I think you're playing defense now compared to where you were last year. I think you're competing on the defensive end compared to what you were doing last year. So that's just the maturity and the growth and the development of your game. So thank you for that. Let's Lucas. So that concludes, like I warned you, like it was gonna be long. I just think it was important that I share some things about each player, because I've spent as much time with them the last 6-7 months, it's a respectful way for me to say that I do watch everything you guys are doing, right? I might not be looking directly at you, but I hear what you're doing, I see what you're doing, I care about what you're doing. And again, I will conclude now by just again, the last thing I want to say is, I will be your coach for the rest of your lives, hopefully. And I hope you guys look at me that way. So thank you. I'm done.